Hello and welcome to Stock Music Licensing. My name is Daniel Carrizales from stockmusiclicensing.com. Now, in today's video, I want to talk to you about gain staging. And as you can see here, I have my mix, and we're going to be checking the levels of this particular mix. And it is a track that it has no processing or anything. I have all the faders up to 0. And I want to see how hot or how weak the signal level is in this particular mix, and we're going to be adjusting that before we do anything else to the mix. And gain staging is a very important aspect of mixing because we want a healthy level. We don't want it to be too hot or too weak. We just want it to be just right, the right amount of volume or signal in a particular instrument or in a particular track. So just going to press play and listen to this particular track and see how hot or how weak the signal is as a mix. So immediately you can see that it's clipping over here. It's really hot, okay? And that's with all the faders in 0. So what I do in this particular case, I start with the actual kick drum, and I want to see how hot it is. It's a very strong signal. It's a very hard in this case. So what I like to do in different DAWs have different ways of doing this. Here in Logic, I use the gain control, and I just bring the volume up or down depending on the particular signal. So in this case, I'm going to be treating the kick drum. I notice immediately that it's really hot. In this case, it goes all the way to -3. It's quite a slappy kick already. It's quite high, has like a high impact, and I don't want that. I want to bring that down. So I will say, like, I'm going to try all the way up to -5. Still a little bit too hot. I like it around there. I mean, as a rule of thumb, anything between -15 dBs or up to -6, depending on the actual instrument. I want to have enough headroom in the output, in the master bus. So this is a process that you can actually level up. Usually the signal can be very hot, so I just like to bring it down. That's -10 now. I'm going to leave it there because I think it's a very slappy kind of a kick. Let's see the snare now. It's way too high. That's a very strong snare. So I do the same thing, okay? I actually bring the snare down. It's still quite a healthy and strong signal. And that's without. Sorry. So what this does is that it gives me enough headroom at the output, because this is just with 2 tracks. So I can just make sure that all the levels are correctly with the faders at 0. And I can actually have a much more balanced mix with the gain staging, and make sure that the track is not too hot, and have a little bit of more control with headroom. And I don't want to be too much. I don't want the output of this mix to be too hot. We want to have enough headroom, but we want to have a healthy as well signal. And this is a quick technique that you just go through each individual instrument, and then you just bring it down depending on how hot or how low or how weak the actual signal is. And you do this with with each individual track, and make sure that you have a healthy signal. Now this the gain you just adjust it as you go along. It won't necessarily be the same sets or setting for each instrument. And you just have to play it by ear. And like I said, anything between minus 18 dBs here or minus 16 all the way to minus 6, it should be a healthy level. But then again, that depends as well on the instrument. But it is important to have enough headroom. I cannot stress that enough. And it's something that if you're not using this technique or this process of actually having a proper gain staging before you do anything else in the mix, it could be the difference between having a powerful mix and a very clean mix as well, and knowing how the levels are in your mix without having any EQ or any compression or doing anything else at this stage. Okay. So anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in, and leave in the comment sections what's your take on this. Are you using gain staging in your mixes? Is this something that you are implementing? Is this something that you do differently? And again, thanks a lot for subscribing. Thanks a lot for all the love and support. Thanks for reaching out, and hopefully you find this 5-minute videos helpful. And as always, rock and roll, and here's to your success.